Hello and welcome. Lanita, the Scrappy Grandma here, and this is our Books of the Bible and currently the Book of Exodus playlist. And so this week I am reading Exodus 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Try to get in about 5 chapters. So let's get started with prayer. First off, Father Yah, thank you so much. Thank you for your word. Thank you for your covenant. Thank you for teaching those who have ears to hear and eyes to see, those who seek you and search you out. Thank you for teaching us your ways. And I ask that you use this time of being in your word to teach us more how to walk in covenant with you. Thank you so much for all that you do. Let only your words go out, and let this be a blessing to you for your glory, my King. In Yeshua's name, amen. I'm on. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll share my screen. Make myself littler. There. Share. Put it way up here in the corner. Okay, all that. So Exodus 16:1. And they set out from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came to the wilderness of Sin, which between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second new moon, after they're going out from Mitzrayim. So it's the second month, and it's the 15th day of the second month after they left Egypt. And all the congregation of the children of Israel grumbled against Moshe and Aaron in the wilderness. And the children of Israel said to them, if only we had died in the land, and Yah died by the hand of Yah in the land of Mitzrayim, then we sat by the pots of meat, and when we ate bread to satisfaction. For you have brought us up out into this wilderness to put all of this assembly to death with hunger. I mean, if you think about it, they were eating regularly, all different kinds of regular food, and all of a sudden now, they aren't, and life is much more difficult. They don't even have leaven for their bread. Their flat bread is all they can eat. And Yah said to Moshe, see, I am raining bread from heaven for you, and all the people should go out and gather a day's portion every day in order to try them, whether they walk in my Torah, in my instructions or not. And it shall be on the 6th day that they shall prepare what they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily. And this is such a concept that Yah uses, like with the Shemitah year, the same thing. Every 7 years, every 6 years, your garden will produce twice as much, even more so that you can make it all the way through the 7th year and all the way through the 8th year until you can plant and harvest. So it's almost 2 years that you go from the 6 year's harvest. So, and it's the same here that he's doing with the manna. So he's establishing that right here. And Moshe and Aaron said to the children of Israel, at evening you shall know that Yah has brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, and in the morning you shall see the esteem of Yah, for he hears your grumbling against Yah. And what are we that you grumble against us? And Moshe said, in that Yah gives you meat to eat in the evening, and in the morning bread to satisfaction. For Yah, here's your grumblings, which you make against him. And what are we? Your grumblings are not against us, but against Yah. And Moshe said to Aaron, say to all the congregation of the children of Israel, come near before Yah, and he has heard your grumblings. Man, and that's something, we really have to take our thoughts captive and not grumble. Oh, pause it for a second. Apologize. Let's see where. There we go. Okay. 16:12. I have heard the grumblings of the children of Israel. Speak to them, saying, between the evenings you are to eat meat, and in the morning You are to be satisfied with bread, and you shall know that I am Yahweh, your Elohim. And it came to be that quails came up that evening and covered the camp. And in the morning, the dew lay all around the camp, and the layer of dew went up, and see, on the surface of the wilderness was a small round substance as fine as frost on the ground. I just always try to imagine what that had to have been like. And the layer of dew, and the children of Israel saw, and they said to each other, what is it? For they did not know what it was. And Moshe said to them, it is the bread which Yah has given you to eat. This is the word which Yahweh has commanded. Let every man gather it according to each one's need, an omer for each being. According to the number of beings, let every man take for those who are in his tent. And the children of Israel did so, and gathered some more, some less. And they measured it by omars, who gathered, and he who gathered much did not have too much, and he who gathered little did not have too little. Each one gathered according to his need. And Moshe said, let no one leave any of it until morning. And they did not listen to Moshe, and some of them left part of it until morning, and it bred worms and it stank, and Moshe was wroth with them. And they gathered it every morning, each one according to his need. And when the sun became too hot, it melted. And it came to be on the 6th day, he's already told them, that they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omars for each one. And all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moshe. And he said to them, this is what Yah has said. Tomorrow is a rest, a Sabbath, a set apart to Yahweh. That which you bake, bake, and that which you cook, cook, and lay up for yourself all that is left over, and keep it until morning. Now, I could see, they're like, well, the last time we left it till morning, it stunk and it had worms in it. So, but this time now, because it's the Sabbath, and they laid up till morning as Moshe had commanded, and it did not stink, and no worms were in it. And Moshe said, eat it today, for today is a Sabbath to Yah. Today you do not find it in the field. Gather it 6 days, but on the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, there is none. And it came to be that some of the people went out on the 7th day to gather it, and they found none. And Yah said to Moshe, how long shall you refuse to guard my commands and my Torot? Or footnote, Torot is plural of Torah, meaning instructions, commands, teachings. See, because Yah has given you the Sabbath, therefore he's giving you the bread for 2 days on the 6th day. Let each one stay in his place, and do not let him go out of his place on the 7th day. So the people rested on the 7th day. See Genesis 2:2-3. And the house of Israel called its name Manna, and it was like white coriander seed, and the taste of it was like thin cakes made with honey. And Moshe said, this is the word which Yah has commanded. Fill an omar with it to keep for your generations, so that they see the bread in which I fed you in the wilderness when I brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim. Wouldn't that be so interesting if they found that and it was still intact? And it'll be cool one day when we can say, can you show us what the manna looked like and how it tasted? Can we taste manna? So, and Moshe said to Aaron, take a pot and put an omar of manna in it, and set it down before Yah to keep for your generations. And Yah commanded Moshe, so did Aaron set it down before the witness to keep. And the children of Israel ate manna 40 years until they came to the inhabited land, and they ate manna until they came to the border of the land of Canaan. And an omar is 1/10 of an ephah, which I have measurements in my Bible here. So it's always kind of interesting to see the different measurements. It's kind of fascinating. So monetary measurements, liquid measurements, weights, dry measures. Here we go. An omar is about it's about 2.3 quarts or 2.2 liters. and it's a 1/10 of an ephah, and an ephah is 24 quarts. So it's about, so 2-quart jars and a third. So 2-quart jars and maybe half a pint ish. This is an idea. 17. And all the congregation of the children of Israel set out on their journey from the wilderness of Sin according to the mouth of Yah, and camped at Rephidim, and there was no water for the people to drink. Therefore the people strove with Moshe and said, give us water to drink. And Moshe said to them, why do you strive with me? Why do you try Yahweh? And the people thirsted there for water, and the people grumbled against Moshe and said, why did you bring us out of Mitzrayim to kill us and our children and livestock with thirst? You know, first of all, why would Yah have gone through all that he went through with going through the Red Sea and all of that? Truly, you know, it's like, how can they can keep going back to this? He's proven time and time again, he's there to rescue and save and deliver them. And Moshe cried to Yah, saying, what am I to do with this people? Yet a little, and they shall stone me. And Yah said to Moshe, pass over before the people and take with you some of the elders of Israel, and take in your hand your rod, which you struck the river, and go. See, I'm standing before you there on the rock of Horeb, and you shall strike the rock, and water shall come out of it, and the people shall drink. And Moshe did so before the eyes of the elders of Israel, and he called the name of the place Massa and Meribah, because of the strife of the children of Israel, and because they tried Yah, saying, is Yah in our midst or not? Israel defeats Amalek. And Amalek came and fought with Israel in Rephidim. And Moshe said to Yehoshua, choose for us men to go out and fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I am stationing myself on top of the hill with the rod of Elohim in my hand. And Joshua did as Moshe said to him, fight with Amalek. And Moshe, Aharon, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. And it came to be when Moshe, and if I remember correctly, Hur is actually Miriam's husband. So it's Moses' brother-in-law. And it came to be when Moshe held up his hand that Israel prevailed. And when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moshe's hands were heavy, so they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat on it. And Aharon and Hur supported his hands, one side on, and one on one side, one on the other side, and his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. And Yehoshua defeated Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. And Yah said to Moshe, write this for remembrance in the book, and recite it in the hearing of Yehoshua, that I shall completely blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under the heavens. And Moshe built a slaughter place and called its name Yahweh Nisi. For he said, because a hand is on the throne of Yah, is to fight against Amalek from generations to generations. 18. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, the priest of Midian, Moshe's father-in-law, heard of all that Elohim had done for Moshe and for Israel, his people, that Yah had brought Israel out of Mitzrayim. And Jethro, Moshe's father-in-law, took Zipporah, the wife of Moshe, after he had sent her back. So when he went to, talk to Pharaoh and let my people go and everything, he had sent his wife wife and sons back to their father's house, Jethro, in Midian. And while he went and delivered the people, the Israelites, from Egypt. So after he had sent her back and her 2 sons, of whom the name was Gershom, one was Gershom, for he said, I have been a sojourner in a foreign land. And the name of the other was Eliezer, for he said, the Elohim of my father was my help and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh. Jethro, Moshe's father-in-law, came with his sons and his wife to Moshe in the wilderness, where he was encamped at the mountain of Elohim. And he had said to Moshe, I, your father-in-law Jethro, am coming to you with your wife and your 2 sons with her. And Moshe went out to meet his father-in-law and bowed down and kissed him. And they asked each other about their welfare, and they went into the tent. And Moshe told his father-in-law all that Yah had done to Pharaoh and to the Mitzrayites for Israel's sake, all the hardship that had come upon them on the way, and how Yah had delivered them. And Jethro rejoiced for all the good which Yah had done for Israel, whom he had delivered out of the hand of the Mitzrayites. And Jethro said, Blessed be Yahweh, who has delivered you out of the land of the Mitzrayites and out of the hand of Pharaoh, and who has delivered the people from under the hands of the Mitzrayites. Now I know Yah is greater than all the mighty ones indeed in the matter in which they acted proudly above them. And Yitro, the father-in-law of Moshe, brought an ascending offering and other slaughterings unto Elohim. And Aharon came with all the elders of Israel to eat bread with the father-in-law of Moshe before Elohim. And it came to be on the next day that Moshe sat to rightly rule the people, and the people stood before Moshe from morning until evening. And when his father-in-law, the father-in-law of Moshe, saw all that he did for the people, he said, What is this that you're doing for the people? Why do you sit by yourself and all the people stand before you from morning until evening? So his father-in-law was giving him wise counsel. And Moshe said to his father-in-law, Because the people come to seek Elohim. When they have a matter, they come to me, and I rightly rule between one and the other and make known the laws of Elohim and his Torah, his teachings. And the father-in-law of Moshe said to him, What you're doing is not good. Both you and these people with you shall certainly wear yourselves out, for the matter is too heavy for you. You are not able to do it by yourself. Now listen to my voice and let me counsel you. The Elohim be with you. Stand before Elohim for the people, and you shall bring the matters to Elohim. And you shall enlighten them concerning the laws and the Torah, and shall show them the way in which they should walk and work, which they should do. But you yourself seek out from all the people able men who fear Elohim, men of truth, hating unfair gain, and place these over them to be rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of 50s, and rulers of 10. So all of that came from Jethro, Moshe's father-in-law, who was a priest in Midian. And what kind of a priest? Who was he a priest for? Obviously, he knew about all the other mighty ones, because he said, surely with everything I've heard now, Yahweh is above all the mighty ones, all the other gods. If you do this word, and Elohim shall command you, then you shall be able to stand, and all this people also go to their places in peace. And Moshe listened to the voice of his father-in-law and did all that he said. And Moshe chose able men out of all of Israel and made them heads over the people, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of 50s, and rulers of 10. And they rightly ruled the people at all times. And the hard matters they brought to Moshe, but they rightly ruled every small matter themselves. And Moshe sent off his father-in-law, and he went away to his own land. In the 3rd new moon, the 3rd month, after the children of Israel had come out of Mitzrayim, out of Egypt, on this day they came to the wilderness of Sinai. For they had set out from Rephidim and had come to the wilderness of Sinai and camped in the wilderness. So Israel camped there before the mountain. And Moshe went up to Elohim, and Yah called him up to the mountain, saying, This is what you are to say to the house of Jacob, and declare to the children of Israel. You have seen what I did to the Mitzrayites, and how I bore you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. And now, if you diligently obey my voice and shall guard my covenant, then you shall be my treasured possession above all peoples, for all the earth is mine. And you shall be to me a reign of priests and a set-apart nation. Those are the words which you are to speak to the children of Israel. And Moshe came and called the elders of the people and set before them all these words which Yah commanded him. And all the people answered together and said, all that Yah has spoken, we shall do. So Moshe brought back the words of the people to Yah. So here they are, Shema, we hear and we will obey. And Moshe said, and Yah said to Moshe, see, I am coming to you in a thick cloud, so the people will hear when I speak with you and believe you forever. And Moshe reported these words to the people of Yah. And Yah said to Moshe, go to the people and set them apart today and tomorrow, and they shall wash their garments and shall be prepared by the third day. For on the third day, Yah shall come down from Mount Sinai before the eyes of all the people. And you shall make a border of all the people around, saying, take heed for yourselves that you do not go up to the mountain or touch the border of it. Whoever touches the mountain shall certainly be put to death. Not a hand is to touch it, but he shall certainly be stoned or shot with an arrow. Whether a man or a beast shall not live. When the Yobel sounds, the shofar, when the shofar, oh, it's weird how it does that. When the shofar sounds, the Yobel sound long, let them come near the mountain. Explanatory note for Yobel. It doesn't come up. Okay. And Moshe came down from the mountain to the people and set the people apart, and they washed their garments. And he said to the people, be prepared by the third day. Do not come near a wife, to become unclean. When you have intercourse, you become unclean until evening. We don't want that to happen. You don't want to be unclean. You want to be able to see this. And it came to be on the third day in the morning that there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud on the mountain, and a voice of a shofar was very strong, and all the people were in the camp trembled. And Moshe brought the people out of the camp to meet with Elohim, and they stood at the foot of the mountain, and Mount Sinai was in smoke, all of it, because Yah descended upon it in fire, and its smoke went up like a smoke of a furnace, and all the mountain trembled exceedingly. And with a voice of the shofar sounded long and became very strong, Moshe spoke, and Elohim answered him by voice. And shofar, as I was showing you, the animal horn. And Yah came down upon Mount Sinai on the top of the mountain, and Yah called Moshe to the top of the mountain, and Moshe went up. And Yah said to Moshe, go down and warn the people lest they break through unto Yah and see, and many of them fall. And let the priests who come near Yah set themselves apart too, lest Yah break out against them. And Moshe said to Yah, the people are not able to come up the mountain, for you had warned us, saying, make a border around the mountain and set it apart. And Yah said to him, come and go down, and then come up, you and Aaron with you, but do not let the priests and the people break through to come up to Yah, lest he break out against them. And Moshe went down to the people and spoke to them. 20. And Elohim spoke all of these words, saying, I am Yahweh your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim and out of the house of slavery. You have no other mighty ones against my face. You do not make for yourself to carve image or any likeness of that which is in the heavens above, or which is in the earth beneath, or which is in the water of the earth. You do not bow down to them nor serve them, for I am Yahweh your Elohim, am a jealous El, visiting the crookedness of the fathers on the children to the third and fourth generation of those who hate me, but showing loving commitment to thousands, to those who love me and guard my commands. That's my prayer, is that by me guarding his commands, that it will go down the generations now. Do not bring the name of Yahweh your Elohim to naught, for Yah does not leave the one unpunished who brings his name to naught. And I understand that to mean don't misrepresent him, and don't claim that he says or does something that he has not said or done. Remember the Sabbath day to set it apart. 6 days you labor and shall do no work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath of Yah your Elohim. You do not do any work, you nor your sons, nor your daughters, nor your male servants, nor your female servants, nor your cattle, nor the stranger who is within your gates. It says, footnote, there are other Sabbaths, but this is the weekly Sabbath, the seventh day. For in 6 days Yah made the heavens and the earth and the sea and all that is in them, and rested on the seventh day. Therefore Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day and set it apart. Everyone's like, oh, any day can be a Sabbath day. No, this day was specifically set apart and blessed, and it is a gift to us. Respect your father and your mother, so that your days are prolonged upon the soil which Yah, your Elohim, is giving you. You do not murder, you do not commit adultery, you do not steal, you do not bear false witness against your neighbor. You do not covet your neighbor's house, you do not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his male servant, nor his female servant, nor his ox, or his donkey, or whatever belongs to your neighbor. And all the people saw the thunder and lightning flashes, the voice of the shofar, and the mountain smoking, and the people saw it, and they trembled and stood at a distance, and said to Moshe, you speak with us, and we hear, but let not Elohim speak with us, lest we die. And Moshe said to the people, do not fear, for Elohim has come to prove you, and in order that his fear be before you, so that you do not sin. So the people stood at a distance, but Moshe drew near the thick darkness where Elohim was. And Yah said to Moshe, say this to the children of Israel, you yourselves have seen that I have spoken to you from the heavens. You do not make beside me mighty ones of silver, and you do not make mighty ones of gold for yourself. Make a slaughter place of earth for me. You shall slaughter on it your ascending offerings and your peace offerings, your sheep and your cattle, in every place where I cause my name to be remembered. I shall come to you and bless you. And if you make me a slaughter place of stone, do not build it with cut stones, for if you use a chisel on it, you have profaned it. Nor do you go up by steps to my slaughter place, lest your nakedness be exposed on it. All right. Well, that was Exodus 16 through 20. And we will pick up the next 5 chapters next week, Yah willing. Be blessed and have a fabulous week.